everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the cosmetic chemist, creator of Stop It, spray deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. And Finesse, the flowing cream shampoo. Time for What's My Line? And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the well-known publisher, author, and columnist, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
On my right is a lovely lady that you can see in the flesh, and mighty nice flesh it is, in the Broadway hit, Late Love, Miss Arlene Francis.
Well, say. And on my right, the composer, humorist, true humorist, who has written a Christmas novelty that I've just heard about called Cool Yule. And it is recorded, has been recorded by Louis Armstrong, Mr. Steve Allen.
Well, so far we're pretty confused. On my, let me see here. On my left, I can't break the habit. The lady whose column appears in 9,000 newspapers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And across the stage from me, too far away to get my hands on him, although I'd like to sometimes, our charming, distinguished, and misleading moderator, Mr. John Daly.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, we're going to put our cameras close up on a few people from here and there who've come and brought some interesting occupations with them to the very good purpose of befuddling the panel, and we trust they'll carry home some prizes, too. We're going to have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later, but right now I think it's time for our experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they'll have to spot. So will you sign in, please, ma'am? Sonny Parker. Miss or Mrs.?
Miss, but you should see the ones that got away.
Oh. Everything's happening tonight. Well, Miss Parker, where are you from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. Well, it's very nice of you to have come
No
this far.
Marylanders?
Oh, no Marylanders. Awfully sorry, but four nice people over there would like to know you a bit better. So will you walk down and meet the panel?
Shake hands, Miss Parker.
Can I feel your muscle, Miss Parker?
I wish I'd
She
thought of
doesn't
that.
do anything very strong.
I can feel my muscles, Miss Parker.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Parker, will you come over here now and sit down next to me, please? I think perhaps you know that now that the panel has had a chance to meet you, it's our custom to give them... Would you come in a bit closer? That's right, to the microphone, I mean, of course. It's our custom to give them one free guess as to what your line may be, and we always begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
Well, she's so pretty and charming and graceful, I think she must be a linotype operator.
Mr. Allen.
And I like her type of line, too. I want you to know that. Speaking of the one who got away, I'd guess that she fishes for a living.
Miss Francis.
I think she teaches games to children.
Mr. Cerf.
I think she takes care of the skeletons at Johns Hopkins.
No, I'm afraid not. Let's let our viewers at home have another look at Miss Sonny Parker, and at the same time we'll tell them what her line is. But the panel's got a bid. Miss Parker, it is our pleasure. So every time you get a no answer, I'll just flip one of these cards. The record will be kept right here. We always give them one last bit of help, as you know, and so we'll tell them that you are salaried and begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Miss Parker, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Is there any product involved in what you do?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Parker, that name Sonny, spelled double E. That's your real name?
It's like the weather report, you know, cloudy today and sunny tomorrow. Right.
Well, that suggests show business to me. Are you in any branch of the entertainment world?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Parker, you have very strong and neatly kept hands. Do you do anything with your hands?
Yes.
But you're not in the entertainment business.
No.
So I may assume that you do not play a musical instrument for a living.
No.
Yes, you may assume that Miss Parker does not play a musical instrument for a living. No.
Are your hands an important part of what you do?
Yes.
Do you do something to people rather than to animals?
Yes.
Do you come in contact with people?
Yes.
Do you deal with men as well as women?
Yes, you deal with men as well as women.
Are they happier because you've dealt with them?
Very much.
Aside from the pleasure of meeting you, is there something else that happens to them when you do what you do?
Yeah, something else happens to them.
Well, does strength have anything, does there have to be a certain amount of strength in your hands to do what you do?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you do what you do indoors? What are you laughing at? On a night like this, that's nice, you know? Why would it be funny to do something indoors? Is there some definite physical contact between you and the people for whom you perform your services? In the sense that you might be a dental assistant or a masseur or something?
I think it would be safe to say that there would be necessarily some direct physical contact, yes.
Is there anything athletic about what you do?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, it has been decided that you do touch these people. That is part of your job. Do you use anything when you touch these people except your hands? Do you use any sort of creams or any kind of accessory?
Yes, I would say, yes, a kind of...
Now, when you touch these people, do you touch their hands?
No.
No. That would be 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Parker, do you touch their faces by any chance?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Could, yeah.
Are these people sometimes in a horizontal position?
Let's have a small conference.
Let's have a stir.
Yeah, we'd say yes to that, wouldn't we?
Would you ever slap a lot of soap on anybody's face? Some soap.
Yeah.
Could you be some member of the tonsorial fraternity?
What was that?
I'm trying to say in rather fancy terms, is Miss Parker some kind of a lady barber?
Yeah. Yes, I think better we're going to have to throw in the towel. Actually, Miss Parker is unique in that she is a lady barber that actually works on men all the time. You see, she cuts men's hair and gives men stuff for the washing and the stuff like. Where do you do this?
It's a shirt in Belvedere, Baltimore.
In Baltimore? Good reason to go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
She puts them all in a lather.
Well, I must say one thing, Miss Parker. You've done fairly well with the prizes, but we do trust that you had a good enough time to feel it was worthwhile coming all the way from Baltimore to see us. Thanks a lot for being... All right, panel, let's see what we can do with still another challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? J. D. Myers. Right, sir? That looks a little formidable, sir. What does the J stand for?
Jess.
Jess Myers.
That's right.
Where are you from, Mr. Myers?
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. Fine. These are neighbors of yours just across the river. They live, so suppose you walk across this river and go visit them, will you?
May I see your feet, sir? Just as
All
I
right.
thought. Shoes.
All right, Mr. Myers, will you come over here, please, now, and sit down next to me? And as is custom, we will give the panel one free guess as to what your line may be. We begin the free guesses with Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think he's a varnish maker.
A varnish maker?
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
I think he runs a gambling den.
Miss Francis.
Where? I think he makes corkscrews.
Cerf.
I think he's a gynecologist.
No, I'm afraid not. Let our viewers have another look at Mr. Jess Myers, and at the same time we'll tell them what his line is. The record up here, I think you're familiar with that. And 10 of these no answers and 10 flip cards, and you've won. Mr. Myers is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Myers, do you work for a profit-making organization?
I do.
Is there a product involved in what you do?
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
You deal in a service of some kind.
Yes.
Is this service the sort of thing that I might possibly enjoy? Does the service of yours then have any mental or physical effect on the people on whom it has its effect?
Yes.
And I might enjoy the... Are these services then, could they be even remotely described as beneficial, at least rather than harmful?
Yes, they're beneficial.
Beneficial? Do you do what you do in an enclosure of any kind?
Yes.
Is it the sort of a place where any strenuous physical activity might take place?
Yes.
In line with physical betterment. Could a fat man go to your place, for example?
Yes.
Are there some businessmen, let's say, who might go to your place of business on a fairly regular basis?
Yes.
Could a fellow at a place like yours maybe sweat off 5 or 6 pounds?
No, I wouldn't think so. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you come into physical contact with the people that you give this service to?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Meyer, do you use a pencil or pen in the work that you're doing?
Occasionally.
Do you take any kind of data or statistics from the people that you deal with?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Could someone who was a little more frail than you do what you do, Mr. Myers?
Yes.
I mean, your broad shoulders have nothing to do with your work, is that correct?
No.
Would you say that your work was more mental than physical?
Yes.
Could a woman do what you do? Could a woman do what you do?
Yes.
Are you attached to sort of an establishment of any kind?
It could be called an establishment.
And you work in this one place rather than traveling around?
I work in one place.
Is anything for rent or for hire at this place where you work?
No, I wouldn't think so. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
Things are going. Do people work for you at this place?
Yes.
Is there anything in the way of entertainment or relaxation or recreation involved in the...
Yes.
Could the people who work for you be young ladies?
Yes.
Do they instruct in any way?
I didn't hear that.
I say, do they offer any sort of instruction?
No.
No.
6 down and 4 to go, and I'm going to give you 1 more minute to try and get this, Miss Francis.
Did you say that, did Steve ask the question whether this had anything at all to do with the entertainment business?
Yes, it was ascertained that
That
there
it
was
does.
entertainment
I
involved
see.
in one degree or another.
Does your place of business have any aspect of a club of any kind?
No club. That makes it 7 down and 3 to go and 30 seconds more, Mr. Cerf.
Is there any dancing involved in anything that you do?
Yes.
Is this some kind of a dance hall that you have something to do with?
No. Not a dance hall. And we've got 15 seconds, 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is dancing taught at this place?
No.
No instruction.
Now, I'm going to throw the curtain in. We only have one more to go anyway. Mr. Myers manages a burlesque theater panel. Just to make you realize how close you might have been to it, I think it's the Empire Theater in Newark, too.
Oh, really?
So, Mr. Myers, you win the full prize by default, but you got practically all of it the hard way. Thanks for being our guest in What's My Line. Nice to see you. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends on the panel would recognize our guest immediately, so they have been provided with the blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Yes,
Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all the preliminaries and get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Goodness, I thought only Julius La Rosa would get a hand like that. Have you got something to do with the entertainment business?
Oh, sure.
Can't even determine the sex. Would you ever have appeared in a motion picture?
Yeah.
Would that have been, could you have been in a picture within the past year?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I still don't know whether it's a male or a female. I'm going to take a wild chance. Are you a female? What's taking you so long?
We're having fun.
Question. Why, sure, I should say so.
You are.
Well, what else?
Would you describe yourself as a star of the first magnitude?
I would so describe her.
Oh, gee, thank you.
You're right. I'm glad to do it.
Or have you ever made any pictures for the Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studio?
I had a chance to.
I didn't quite hear that.
Oh, yeah, I had a chance to.
Did you take advantage of the chance?
Sir.
Yeah, I took advantage of it.
Could you by any chance be a lady who played in an English school story at one time? Where there was a teacher who went by the name of Mr. Chips?
Well, yeah, I seem to remember something of that sort.
I hate to pick this right off. I pass.
Oh, Bennett.
All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, I can hardly fail to get Bennett's clue. Have we detected a slight trace of British accent in that carefully camouflaged voice?
Oh, darling, I try so hard. I work all the time on my accent.
Have you a characteristic that is particularly glorious in Technicolor that cannot be seen on black and white video sets?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Greer Garson?
Greer Garson is right. Miss Greer, all I've got to say is we haven't had us find an accent here for a long, long time, and it didn't seem to have been good. But how
I'm
nice...
afraid they're all much too clever.
I just saw you on Ed Sullivan's show.
Oh, isn't that awful? I've been robbed. And I met Dorothy in the back room at Seal Chapman's. We were both after the same dress, and I knew I was doomed from there.
Well, how nice of you to be in New York so you could be with us.
Well, thank you.
What are you here for? You going back home? Or...
Well, the studio has given me a rather strange assignment. For the time being, I'm not an actress exactly. I'm a press agent extraordinary. At least I'm just a press agent, let's say, for Julius Caesar, I'm going to make desperately informal talks in British universities. I consider this a safari much more dangerous than anything they undertook in Mogambo, because students are much more savage than any kind of gorilla, I understand.
But I just like to think of how much more of Shakespeare I would have absorbed if they'd just let you lecture to me. Thanks so much for coming to see
Goodbye.
us. Nice to see you on What's My Line. The panel can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? Fred Elsie. Is that right, sir? Where are you from, Mr. Elsie?
Findlay, Ohio.
Findlay, Ohio?
Right.
Well, that's fine. Now, time is getting a little bit short. We have some friends from Ohio here, so will you take a quick walk down in front of the panel and right back again, please?
Me too.
Are you carrying anything in that pocket that would be interesting?
We haven't any time to look into the pocket, Mr. Elsie. You come over here and sit down, if you will, please. And I think you know that first thing that happens is the panel gets one free guess, and we always begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
District Attorney.
District Attorney, Mr. Allen.
This being National Donut Week, I think he's a donut salesman.
Miss Francis.
I think he's a professor at Ohio University.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, Russell Krauss comes from Friendly. I think he's Russell Krauss's brother-in-law.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Elsie. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But, panel, you will have to do your usual first defensive job in business. Mr. Finley, you know the rules. This is the flip area right here. 10 flips and you're in. We'll keep it right here for you to take a look at. All right, Mr. Elsie is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen. You have a little more than 3 minutes to go.
No one's had a product involved in their work yet tonight. Do you, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is it the sort of product that I might be able to use?
Yes.
If I were to use it, would it have any obvious effect on me?
What do you mean, effect on you?
I don't know. What do you mean? What do I mean?
What I mean is, what do you mean by what do you mean when you mean effect?
Well, let me put it this way. Good night. Would the effect be something in the way of an improvement?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I will say this. It might, and on the other hand, it might not.
Is there any metal involved in your product, in the makeup of it?
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is this anything that is put on the person, this product?
Yes, yes.
Would it be considered wearing apparel in any way?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Would it be sort of thing you might buy, Mr. Elsie, in a drugstore?
Could, yes.
Would this be applied externally?
Yes.
Might it be applied to the region above the neck?
Yes.
Could be, yeah.
Somewhere on the face?
Yes.
On Steve's face?
Yes.
Could it also be used on Dorothy or Arlene's face?
Yes.
You look dubious about that.
Beg pardon?
You look a bit dubious about that. Would it be more
Not
likely to be
dubious?
used on a man's face than a...
Not necessarily, no.
Well, that's a no, then.
I'm afraid it is, yes. Well, we did that rather well, didn't you? 3 down, 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
If I had this on, would it be visible from the audience? If I were wearing what this thing is?
Yeah.
Yes,
See it
oh,
on
yes,
me
yes,
visible.
yes.
Is this, by any chance, something that would partially cover my face?
Yes.
Is this, by any chance, seasonal? This
Yes.
product? Would children use it as well as grown-ups?
I think so, yes.
Would little gremlins on Halloween use what you make?
Could be.
And could it make them more unattractive as well as more attractive or funnier?
I think so.
Do you have something to do with Halloween masks?
Yes.
What does he have to do with them?
He makes them.
He makes them, is right. Well, Mr. Elsie, I thought that we were going to really give him a rough time, but I'm afraid we didn't make it. Well, the prize isn't very big, but it's been very nice to have you with us on What's My Line, and I think if this keeps up, we'll put some false faces on them and leave them on there forever. Thanks for being our guest on What's My Line. Nice to have you with us. Good night. And I want to say, Steve, that, you know, they do make some really nice looking. I didn't mean it.
You just wait till I take this one off and you won't say that.
I just didn't mean anything. I actually have seen them where they've improved my face anyway, and I figured they might be able to improve yours. Well, thanks anyway. Pam, you did very well tonight. And we'll be back in... And be sure and tune in again next Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line? For other localities, be sure to check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. Till we see you again, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Bennett.
Good night, wherever you are, Mrs. Calabash.
Well, all right for you.
I don't know whose turn it is.
And Bennett, if you see Adlai in Chicago tomorrow, you give him my love and good night.
You mean your late love, don't
My
you?
late
Don't
love.
miss a plug like that. I certainly will. Good night, John.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
By Remington Rand, makers of the Remington, the world's #1 electric shaver. For the shave you've always wanted, reach for the Remington. Get a Remington 60 Deluxe. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.